Hey, Allison, what would you like to talk about?
Hi, could you just explain how to do problem 1 and homework 10?
Homework 10, number 1. Yeah, let me open that up and then I'll share my screen. Okay, so in this problem, uh, it's telling us that we've used the one proportion applet to do a series of two-sided hypothesis tests for different proportions P naught. So those are the null hypothesis values in this first column, and then the p-values associated with each of those hypothesis tests. So this is similar to what we did on the kissing right activity, where you use the applet to come up with the p-values for a whole bunch of related hypothesis tests, and then found the confidence interval based on that. But the difference is that this question is giving us the table. We don't need to make the table first before we find the confidence interval. So what did we do on that activity when we were trying to find a confidence interval?
I wasn't really sure after watching the video on how people use the table to find it.
Okay, so this is each of these p-values is telling us whether a particular value for pi is plausible or not plausible. So in other words, would we retain the null hypothesis saying that that's a plausible value, or would we reject the null hypothesis saying that's not a plausible value? So let's first look at this first problem, part A. That's using a 90% confidence interval. What level of significance does that correspond to? So what value of alpha?
That'd be the point 1.
Right. Yeah,
Okay.
because it's 1 minus 90%, so 1 minus 0.9 gives us 0.1. All right, so if we're using alpha equal to 0.1, if we get a p-value of 0.637, are we going to reject the null hypothesis?
Yes.
No, because 0.637 is greater than 0.1.
So it has to be less than point 1 to be rejected or to be plausible.
The p-value has to be less than 0.1 to be rejected.
Okay.
Because that's saying that 0.1 is our threshold for what we're going to count as strong evidence against the null hypothesis. So with 0.637 as our p-value, that's not strong evidence against the null hypothesis. So we're going to say that 0.64 is a plausible value for the proportion of all UWEC students who shower in the morning. What about 0.59? Is that a plausible value for pi using a significance level of 0.1?
Yes.
Yes. What about 0.58?
No.
Correct, because that p-value is less than 0.1. So
Okay.
that's telling us that 0.59 is in our confidence interval, our range of plausible values, and 0.58 is not.
Okay.
So 0.59 is going to be our lower bound for our 90% confidence interval.
Okay, and then 0.75 for like the top one.
For the upper bound, looks like 0.74 is our upper
Okay.
bound, because that's the last one that is plausible.
Okay, and then for the 95%, I would do like 0.05.
Exactly.
Okay. Then I think I am good.
Cool. Questions about any other parts of the homework?
No, that was the only question I had.
Okay. Did you work out the binomial
Yes.
value one? Okay.
Yep. Do you want me to stay on for the full 20 minutes, or since I'm asked questions, good?
I think you're good if you don't have any
Okay.
other questions.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.